Hi guys, Nancy Christensen here. I want to talk today about the Lion King and some lessons from Simba. I don't know if you remember the story, but when Simba was a little cub, he has this evil uncle. His uncle's name is Scar, and Scar was jealous of Simba's daddy being the king, and so he devised this evil plan that he would trap Simba, and that's what happened. Simba got trapped in a stampede, and Scar went and told his daddy that he was in danger, and he certainly was. And so his daddy went and rescued him and ended up dying. And then evil Uncle Scar came to little Simba and said, "It's your fault that your dad's dead." And poor little Simba is like, "Oh, what do I do? You're so afraid." And Scar said, "Run away and never come back." And so he did. Simba ran away and was gone for a long time till he grew up. And at the end of this, in this post here, I'm going to leave a link to a YouTube video where his childhood friend, Nala, I think that's how you say it, Nala, ends up finding him in the jungle and talks him into coming back to Pride Rock. But my whole reason for bringing this up is what little Simba did when evil Uncle Scar told him to run away. That's what we do. We run away from the things that we don't want to feel. And in the process of that, of living a life that is less than what we're called to live, and we're maybe, figuratively living out in the jungle. And what was it that they said? Let's see, I have it over here. Kuna Matata, right? It says, "Don't worry." That's what that means in Swahili, is don't worry. And when we are in our lives and we're running away from what we're afraid of or what we don't want to feel, we're not being the person that we were born to be, just like Simba. And we're watching this little Disney movie and it's so sweet, and it really pulls at your heartstrings when this little cub lion's daddy dies and you're seeing him out in the jungle with his two little sidekicks, and they're having fun. Sure they are. But when Nala comes and talks to Simba about what's actually going on in their pride, and there's no food and there's no water, and they're not going to survive, and the significance of that. So I don't know if all of you know, but after my divorce, there were about 5 years that I was over drinking alcohol. I would have a glass of wine after work every night, and it wasn't one glass of wine. I longed for that feeling after work. Oh, I'm tired, I deserve it. I just didn't want to feel the pain that I was feeling after my divorce. And I was just like Simba. I was, don't worry, be happy. Whether it was conscious or not, it doesn't matter. But I was running from the very thing that was what I'm convinced of now was my invitation from God to step into more freedom. See, as I was running from that fear, I was actually in more bondage than I was before. If I would have just embraced the feelings of fear, the feelings of sadness, and walked through it, which is what I ended up doing anyway, right? I just postponed it and made it much more difficult for myself. I stepped into freedom as I worked through it and walked through it all. So what I know today is that every single time we bump up against something in our lives that is uncomfortable, I know that it is an invitation from God for us to step into more freedom in our lives. So it's so easy to think when we're having that emotion and feeling afraid, or we want to run, that God, why are we having to go through this? What's this all about? And if we can switch that thought and realize that it's actually this just sweet invitation from our God who loves us so much, that if we're just, not focusing on the short term, but in the long term, the Bible says that Jesus scorned the shame of the cross because he was looking for the joy of the resurrection. If we're able to grasp that long-term process of this journey and see through to the other side of our loving Father inviting us into more freedom, it changes it completely. And it makes us become who we were really created to be. I mean, I look at my own life and I look at all of the emotion I was running away from, and all of that pain when I was drinking back then. And I look now at my life. I look at the freedom I have. I look at the strength that I have. I can look back on that time, and I genuinely am grateful that I went through it, because I would not have learned all the things that I know to be true today about just the fulfillment that I have. And my life is so good today. And it really, truly has been probably the biggest gift of my life that came with much pain with it. But I am so glad I went through it. And just like Simba, when he was running away, when he finally came back to Pride Rock, he became the person that he became who he was created to be. And there's nothing better than that in the whole world. So I hope that you find something in this that helps you reflect on your life and your situation, and taking some honest stock about where you're at and your journey. And God bless you in this process, and may he give you wisdom and patience to just hang in there and keep going until you get there with him. God bless you.